Hello.
Hello.
What's up, everybody? It's Erin.
And Nicole, this is Dude That's Fucked Up.
Welcome to the podcast, guys.
Welcome to the pod, where you can get lots of fun facts, and sometimes they're not even facts.
I just read a review. It was a 2-star review that somebody left us. That was
I saw that.
They leave a lot of I don't even remember.
Unfinished thoughts.
Unfinished thought. There it is. See? Yep.
Yeah.
And
Oh
I was
my
like,
God.
yeah, I mean, we're
Yeah.
just two gals talking to each other. That's what this podcast is. And we'll occasionally talk about some history or some weird cult or something.
Yeah. I don't think, nothing in our explanation or bio or whatever for this podcast is like an historical podcast that is perfectly researched. No, we just pick a topic so that we can have a conversation about it, which I find
they also
so funny.
said that we say like too much, which of course we do. I know that.
Yeah, like my mom hasn't been telling me for almost 40 years. Get out of here.
Yeah.
Speaking of things this podcast gets wrong. Not even gets wrong.
We didn't get it wrong. We didn't get it wrong. First of all.
Oh, no. We didn't get it wrong. But there was, I guess, there was just a little bit more information. I don't even know why. Oh, because I was trying to think of clever names for this week's podcast. And
last week's podcast.
Yeah.
Or this week's?
No, for tomorrow's. But yeah, it will have been last week's podcast. But
yeah.
I settled on seasoned secretings. Because it's seasoning. I don't know why that's so funny to me. But I was trying to come up with I wanted to say something this doesn't work, but venanal extract, venanal extract, something with anal in it, or essence of anus. But then I was like, I don't know, that's maybe puts people off because it says anus in the title, and I don't know. Maybe people don't want you to see that. Anyway, so I was still kind of looking about beaver secretions and stuff, and then found this Snopes article that I sent you, and it's does vanilla flavoring come from beaver anal secretions? And the rating for this one is mostly false. And the claim is castoreum, a secretion produced by beavers, is commonly used as a food additive. The thing is, it's just not common. And it's not really used as a food additive, which we did specify. It's very rare, and it's mostly used in cosmetics. So it's not like this was wrong.
No, we just didn't give enough maybe information. I think we just talked more about how it's a stand-in. It was at some point could be used.
Yeah, and it has the smell. It's the smell is very close to actual vanilla, and it is used in a more of a fragrance and cosmetics capacity than it is in food. And that's kind of always been the case, I guess. But then there was this so it says in this Snopes article, the use of castoreum in common food products today is exceedingly rare, in large part because collecting the substance is difficult and therefore expensive. And I just thought this was very fun. So it says getting a beaver to produce castoreum for purposes of food processing is tough. Foodies bent on acquiring some of the sticky stuff have to anesthetize the animal and then milk its nether regions. You can milk the anal glands so you can extract the fluid, Joanne Crawford, a wildlife ecologist at Southern Illinois University, said. You can squirt castoreum out. It's pretty gross.
Oh, God.
And then it says, due to such unpleasantness for both parties, castoreum consumption is rather small.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, we already kind of commented on that, but
it would have been that's a very good tidbit that we should have.
Yeah, you have to milk the beaver. You have to milk the beaver's sac and glands. It's a process, you have to put it under anesthesia because it probably gets wild or really horny, and I don't know what you're supposed to do with a horny beaver.
Slap your ass with that fucking tail, man. bite you with them beaver teeth.
Oh my God. Don't let it near your nipples. All right. So that's not
the biz.
That's the biz. That's the biz.
We should have just had that in the episode last week, but we just wanted to add that addendum.
Yeah. Sometimes we find fun stuff.
More fun stuff for you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love it.
Okay. I feel like I would like to ask this week for biz too. You know, we say follow us on social medias at DTFU podcast. If there's any corrections you have for us or any fun facts you want to send our way on previous episodes, please do.
Always.
Like
it.
We would love to read it on the podcast or provide a correction. Or if there's something you'd like us to look in further because it doesn't sound right, we'd be happy to revisit it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but just thought that was funny.
Yeah, it's always fun to just make sure that it just hold us accountable. You know, it's just great. We love it.
Yeah.
Anything fucked up for you this week?
No, I don't have anything fucked up this week. Do you?
Me neither. No.
Oh my God, what a week. Oh. Okay, so I do want to say that this topic today, we had 2 listeners back to back submit this a little while ago, and it's been on our radar, and we finally kind of looked into it a little bit this week, and we were both just like, oh my God, it's the dumbest. I didn't know what to think of it. It's about a war, loose air quotes. Yeah, loose air quotes. But
it's about a military
operation.
I wouldn't even call it that.
Attempt.
It's a military essenced.
Yeah, it has the essence of military.
Yeah.
It's. If you don't hear the Benny Hill soundtrack, like while we're talking about this episode, I feel like you've completely checked out. Your brain's wandering. You got to start over because this is the dumbest stuff. And when you hear it's about a war, like it's called the Great Emu War of 1932. So when I hear that, I'm like, this is
Were
going to
they
be
riding emus into battle? Like,
or like,
what was
is
going
it like
on?
a place called Emu Hill? Like it was a very like tall, like lanky, like pointy hill or something.
Emu Hill. Just makes
Or
me
like-
think of Salisbury Hill.
That makes me think of Salisbury steak.
Yeah. Oh my God.
But you know what I mean? Like it could be like the Emu
Yeah.
River or like Emu.
Yeah.
Like we don't know. Like the town of Emu. I don't know. But I was like, oh no. And then we started getting into this shit and it's so dumb.
Oh my God. It literally does have to do with emus.
Yeah, the animal.
And the country of Australia. So
if for anyone listening that doesn't know what an emu is, do you want to explain what it looks like?
Yes, I will in just a moment.
You will? Okay.
Yeah, let me give some background though about what we're talking about. Okay, so let me set the scene. It's Australia post World War I. It's like the war's over. There's a bunch of veterans coming back home that had fought overseas to Australia. They helped turn the tide of war. They're welcome home. But veterans are like often treated like shit everywhere. They sacrifice so much for their countries, and so the country of Australia though is like, let's we got to do something for our veterans. There was a ton of discharged veterans who needed a place to live, like needed to start their lives over. So what the Australian government did was gave them land to farm in Western Australia. And this is like what's considered, I guess, the wheat belt of Australia. And but a lot of at the time was pretty agriculturally like underdeveloped. So they wanted to like develop it more. And so they figured kill 2 birds with 1 stone. The policy and the logistics of the land dispersal, though, was really fucked up in and of itself. It forced many Aboriginal people off their ancestral land. And in some cases, so Aboriginal people fought in World War I, and were technically eligible to receive land themselves.
Yeah.
But barely any of them were even given the chance to do this. Like 3 people out of like hundreds of Aboriginal people were even able to apply for this. So they went off to war and also got booted off their land.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah. So it's very, it's fucked up. It's giving America.
Yeah.
It's giving Homestead Act. Like that is exactly what happened with Americans.
Yeah.
And like after the Civil War, like America was like, go grab some land, y'all. And everybody went west. And it's the movie Far and Away. Like it's very much that. Pioneer time, Laura Ingalls Wilder. But they were forcing Native Americans off their land. So
yeah,
we're very much cousins with Australia in this regard. So, but then shortly after people had started to like settle into this land in Australia, the onset of the Great Depression came in 1929, and the farmers were encouraged to increase their wheat crops. And the government promised that they would give them assistance in the form of subsidies. They failed to do this. So all these farmers were like hung out to dry, had all these crops, and were not getting any money for them. And in spite of all the recommendations and the promised subsidies, wheat prices kept falling. And by October of 1932, shit was like really hitting the fan. Farmers were preparing to harvest the season's crop, and they were also just like, fuck this, we don't, what's even the point? Like, we're just gonna keep all this wheat and not give it to anybody. Like, what the fuck? And then making it even harder, there was a huge boom in the emu population at the time. So this is like a perfect storm of fuckery. So in Western Australia, when they started clearing the land and creating additional water supplies for livestock and whatnot, they made these like kind of little oases for emus. They were like
fuck forts, emu fuck forts.
Yeah, basically the emus were like, oh, what's this now? Water for these cows? I think not. I will have it.
I think this is a sex pool for us.
Yeah, I will come and fuck all over your wheat. Your wheat. Yeah, so they were like, okay, we're going to come in here. These little fences you built are cute, but we're just going to trample right over them. Yeah, they like started coming into farm territory, and particularly like mostly concentrating in the areas around Chandler and Walgulan. Yeah, really interesting names in Australia. Just like in America. Yeah. Just like everywhere.
Oh my gosh, just like everywhere. Chandler.
It's like a mix of, British colonial names and then like Aboriginal names.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah. So the emus would come and they would just, like I said, bust down these like cute little fences that the farmers thought would keep them out. They would make gaps in the fences. Rabbits and other, little critters would come in and just eat the shit out of all of the crops. Everybody's coming in. It's a party. Like the emus knock down the doors and everybody's in.
Oh yeah, emus are first on the dance floor. I knew that.
Yeah, exactly. And like you were saying, if you're not familiar with what an emu looks like, it's a 6 foot tall flightless bird, has sharp talons, and it's basically a dinosaur.
Yeah.
And they kind of look like ostriches.
Yeah, like a very long neck. With long a little neck. Tiny head. Like its head is like kind of a pinhead.
Fuzzy. Yeah. They don't have the like plumage in the same way that an ostrich does.
Yeah.
They still have feathers and stuff. But yeah, they're basically like little, fucking dinosaurs.
Yeah.
I follow Knuckle Bump Farms on Instagram, and it's that woman who has Emmanuel the emu, who's always like trying to get her phone as she's like recording a TikTok or something.
Yeah.
And she's always like, Emmanuel, stop it, Emmanuel. And he's always like knocking her phone over. It's really funny.
So they're like, are they like aggressive, or they're just like fucking burden? I don't know. They're just
like big old dummies with like huge bodies, and they don't give a shit.
Long ass necks.
Yeah, they don't give a shit about anybody or their rules. They're just like gonna eat, gonna do whatever the fuck they want. They're gonna fuck everywhere. They're gonna, you know, shit and piss everywhere, and that's what they did to all these poor farmers. They just came in, rolled
They don't know they're emus.
Wheat. They're emus. They don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
So this wheat issue and a whole host of other economic hardships Western Australia faced were all happening at the same time. You know, the emus were not helping, making it so much worse. And so they're all pissed off about all this shit. And the government's like not doing anything to help them. And so they're like, you know what? Fuck you, Australia. We want to secede from the Commonwealth or whatever. And the government was like, oh, fuck, we really need to do something here. They're like, shit's starting to get serious. They're threatening an agricultural strike, and they want to secede from the rest of the nation. This is bad.
It wasn't just the emus.
No. There was all kinds of stuff going on.
It was just like the general like treatment, and they were getting shit all over. But the emus were the final straw.
I feel like the emus really embodied the fuckery. The like, they were like,
a metaphor for how they were being treated. It's like, you know what, fuck you. We're going to do whatever we want, and we're going to take your crops, and we're not going to give you jack shit. And you think this land is yours? Well, it's not. Yeah.
It kind of isn't. So,
it is.
So the vets turned farmers were like, hey, like they're yelling at their, you know, their senators, their people in politics. They're like, you know what would be cool? We were in the war and we saw these huge machine guns. If we could just get our hands on these big ass machine guns, aka Lewis guns, we could just shoot all the emus with them. With these guns. Like it's no big deal. They'll fucking die for sure because it's like big ass machine guns. And they were like just yelling at all the politicians like, please let us just shoot the emus. And to that I say, it's giving America. It is again giving America again. It's giving 30 to 50 feral hogs. Do you remember that fucking tweet? No. Somebody tweeted about how like you can't, like, assault rifles are for killing people, and then somebody tweeted back, well, what do I do? I need to be able to defend my yard when 30 to 50 feral hogs come and while my children are playing. And so everybody just like lost their minds. It's pretty funny.
Oh my God. Honestly, they needed 30 to 50 feral hogs to take out some of the emus, it sounds like.
Well, that would, it's like that. It's like, you know, you swallowed a fly, you swallow a cat, you know, the old lady. It's like robbing Peter to pay Paul or whatever. They're just going to get...
You're going to end up in the same situation. Might be worse.
It's going to be worse. Yeah.
Because they're feral hogs.
And
those are aggressive.
Yeah, they'll fucking kill you.
Yeah.
I feel like an emu could fuck you up too. Their talons like would kill you.
Yeah.
Like if
and
you got
they
too
have
close.
that neck too. I just feel like they could like whip it around at you and like bonk you with their head and shit. Like they just seem maybe not as aggressive as a feral hog or as smart, but up there.
They'll fuck you up if they need to.
And they're kind of smart. I feel like we're going to learn some stuff that makes me think they can strategize.
Yeah. Oh, for real. So the Australian government finally was like, okay, yes, you know what? We got to figure something else out. You want to secede from the Union or from the Commonwealth. We don't want that to happen.
Yeah.
We'll help you. We promise. So the Minister of Defense at the time, Sir George Pierce, met with a bunch of these pissed off ex-military / farmers, and found that their plan to machine gun them down, they found that pretty reasonable. And he quickly agreed because he was first and foremost a politician who wanted to stave off the secession talk.
Yeah.
And he thought it was a good way to do it. He did have some good conditions attached to it, though. He said that the guns were only to be used by military personnel, like current military personnel, not ex.
Right.
You know, not veterans.
Not Farmer John.
Not Farmer John.
Yeah.
troop transport was to be financed by the Western Australian government, and the farmers would provide food, accommodation, and payment for the ammunition. Which
rude.
It's so rude.
That's so fucking rude.
Yeah. He also supported the deployment of, using military-grade weapons on these birds because he thought it would make great target practice. Just keeping the military's aim fresh.
Yeah.
He was also so confident that this shit would be easy. He was like, hey, you know what? While you're at it, while you're just shooting all these like dumb birds, set aside 100 emu skins so that we can use their feathers to make hats for some of our like light horsemen infantry guys. Like, just their feathers are cute. I think we could use those.
He's like, you know what emus have that we don't? Fashion. Yeah, fashion. So why don't we take advantage of that? Make sure you shoot below the feathers.
Yeah, don't fuck up those feathers as much, as you should. Just get some feathers. Let's make some cool hats. Yeah. So, yeah. Yeah, his confidence was
wrong.
So wrong.
Well, I think then after he got involved in October of 1932, the Royal Australian Artillery, which is like the RAAA is a department of the Australian Army, he got them involved. And he left the emu problem in what I'm assuming are the very capable hands of Major GPW Meredith, who armed, now it says armed 2 troops, and sometimes a troop could be a singular like soldier, and sometimes a troop could be multiple people, so I'm not sure what that means, but he armed 2 troops with 10,000 rounds of ammunition. And yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, and he's like, okay, take your troops and go to Campion. That's the name of the
Chandler
settlement.
The Chandler what was it called?
Chandler Walgalan.
Yeah.
Walgalan
settlement.
Area.
Yeah.
Settlement. Yeah. This is just remember Campion.
Yeah.
Not Champion, Campion.
No.
They're like, he's like, yeah, take all these munition rounds and fuck up some emus.
Oh my God. 10,000 rounds of ammunition. That's, I don't know. It's like, let's start out small. You know what I mean? Like, let's go down there and see what we can get.
Yeah.
But the confidence.
There wasn't even like a recon mission.
No.
It was just like all these
target
farmers
practice.
being like, yeah, they were just like, okay, yeah, fine, whatever. It's birds. Like, they're huge. We're going to shoot them. It's fine.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. And the farmers
it's
are
so
like,
easy.
The farmers like, yeah, no, okay, sure. We trust you. And we'll pay for your lodging and make you food and,
and pay
great.
for the 10,000 rounds.
Yeah.
Dude. Okay, so it's October 1932, but they had to take a rain check, literally, because it rained. And when that happened, the emus were like everywhere. They just kind of scattered. And also maybe they were like, we don't want to do this in the rain, because that seems odd. Like, it's a military operation. I feel like it's a rain or shine type situation normally. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I'm like envisioning like the prairies. Like I'm envisioning the plains. Like it's
plains.
very, very much wide open spaces.
Yeah.
It's like it's like very vast. And then there's just like an emu here and there. And
Like,
and this Lewis gun is like fucking
huge, like machine gun situation, like a artillery.
It's like a long gun, and it has like kind of a tripod-y kind of thing.
Yeah.
And you can carry it, but it requires at least 2 people to carry it. So it's not exactly like, it's not like a super maneuverable, like easy thing to haul around.
No.
Yeah, so.
Oh my gosh. Well, this is the first moment where I think we learned that the emus are always going to be in charge. You know what I mean? It's like it rained. The emus were like, no, thank you. And then everybody's like, wait, what do we do now? Okay.
There's no thoughts, just
they're like,
just guns.
It's raining. Do you have any biscuits in the house? Like, feed us or whatever. I don't know. It's just so dumb to me. Okay, so on November 2nd, after the rain came and went, this is still 1932, there was approximately 50 emus sighted off the horizon of some horizon, you know. And the birds were too far to shoot them with the Lewis guns that I guess they'd set up to be stationary. They'd already set up the Lewis guns.
That makes no sense because emus are just moving and they're fast as fuck. I think they can run up to like 30 miles an hour.
Dude, it's scary. Yeah, it's scary. So they were just they were like, okay, well, they're too far from where we put the gun. What do we do now? And the townspeople were like, I don't know. But then the townspeople were like, I guess we're supposed to help. So they had an idea. They're like, we can help. And like, we'll ambush these emus. We'll kind of like sneak up on a few sides to outsmart them.
We'll flank them.
We'll flank them. We'll ambush them, and we'll herd them into this ambush. Like we'll get them to move closer to you. They'll come to you, okay?
Yeah.
Just stay where you are. We've already purchased the ammunition, sirs. And then
and you want us to strategize too?
Yeah. Also, here's your plan. Okay, this is what we're gonna do. And who's the real leader here? It's Farmer John. So it's
like a group project, and the only ones that did the work were the farmers.
Yeah, fuck, dude. Probably the farmers' wives. Let's be honest. Okay, truly. So they all get in. They like flank them. They're pushing them towards the guns, and the emus go, "Hang on a second. What's this?" And they fucking outsmart the townspeople, figure out it's an ambush, and split into two smaller groups and like moved separate from each other so they were harder to target.
Yeah. To quote Robert Muldoon from Jurassic Park, clever girl.
Oh my God. And they're fast, like in Jurassic Park. They're like fucking velociraptors.
They're raptors, dude. Yeah. They're fucking raptors.
They're raptors. So, okay. So it doesn't matter because the troops fire off a couple rounds of ammunition, you know. And the first was completely unsuccessful. They didn't hit a goddamn thing. And
they're like, do. And the emus are like, bye.
This is what I mean about like the Benny Hill soundtrack, because it's like and they're just like trying to shoot the emus, and the emus are like dodging out of the way, you know, just,
and
like,
they're running all like
all fast.
And they're like bobbing and weaving.
And they're like, pecking some of the guys on the heads and just like doing circles around them, and the guy's like all dizzy or whatever. It's so fucking stupid.
I know.
Oh God. But I guess a few must have moved closer somehow. I don't know, because they were able with the second round to kill a couple of emus, and reports specifically said, in quotes, perhaps a dozen. So that's maybe how many they got that day.
Like a baker's dozen.
Yeah, like what are we talking? And what do we mean perhaps?
Dozen, perhaps
7?
Dozen?
Yeah. Is 7
4?
Close to a dozen? Yeah.
Like nobody knows for sure. Like but it was a failure.
It was a failure. But
because there are thousands of emus. They're just bopping around everywhere.
They're everywhere. They're not. They didn't even put a fucking dent in the emus. They probably just killed the very old ones that were about to die anyway. That were like so fucking slow. And who knows if they even shot them? Like they might have just hit them with a frying pan and they went down. You know what I mean? Yeah, maybe these dozen died of natural causes. Who's to say? Like we have no idea. We can't. We weren't there. Okay, so the troops stayed in the area for a couple of days. They were re-strategizing. They had to figure out, okay, what's our next move?
They're like, oh, these fucking emus. Okay, they're like, smarter than we thought.
Yeah, they might split into two groups, so we can't really ambush them with the townspeople again. That was a good attempt, though.
And they're moving. They can move. Okay. And they're kind of fast. So we gotta start thinking. Yeah. Thinking a little bit harder about this.
Oh my God. Well, okay, so a couple days later on November 4th, Major Meredith led the troops into battle yet again. Okay, but he was kind of like, hey, remember how the townspeople did that ambush? And everyone's like, yeah. He's like, let's try that again. And so there was like 1,000 emus this time in whatever area they decided to go into. And that's what they were like, okay, troops, we're gonna like ambush them, and it's gonna work better with 1,000. Maybe they won't split into 20 groups, you know?
I mean, it's just math at that point because it's,
right, you're gonna hit something if you're close enough.
Something.
If you're close enough.
Yeah, well,
let's hope. So they took the Lewis guns, they aimed, they fired, and after only a few rounds, the guns jammed, both of them. I don't think they killed a single one that day.
Yeah, they maybe hit a couple, but
yeah,
it was another
skimmed one.
Yeah, another fail.
It was a big fail, dude. It was. Oh my God. And then just like right on the heels of this, they were like, okay, this is the problem. These guns, like you said, are like unmaneuverable. We can't be quick with them. These emus are fast. We need to be able to change our position pretty quickly, which is smart. Mm-hmm. So Meredith wanted to like bring in the tanks, let's say, but they didn't have a tank. What they had was a pickup truck. So they mounted, they did like a fucking redneck Mad Max situation, which Mad Max is kind of redneck in itself. Mm-hmm. Maybe more steampunk, but they just fucking, I don't know, duct taped these Lewis guns onto the back of a pickup truck and just like hauled ass down these dirt roads because they're in the middle of nowhere. This is agricultural land, okay?
But it's also in the middle of nowhere, and it's like all undeveloped. Like there's a farm here or there, but it's like very rural.
There's no roads. Like it's a dirt road if there's a road, you know.
Yeah.
So they're in this truck. The fucking gunners in the back. They're just like driving over all these bumps and in holes and like fucking potholes and divots and shit, and this driving is over like rocks
and a goddamn like Model T. Like there's no, you know, like it's like
it's not a fucking Dodge Ram. No. It's like a fucking janky ass like fucking can on wheels, you know, and like. Oh God, the gunner obviously couldn't even keep aim. Like he was probably car sick in the back of there. Maybe he flew out. We don't know what's going on, but it is just.
I mean, they probably had a Jeep, but still, yeah.
Oh yeah, maybe. But so they were able to like. They weren't okay. They were able to get some shots off. The gun didn't jammed, but of course. The ride was so rough that they weren't able to hit anything, and
their aim was like not good.
Yeah, and they couldn't catch up to the emus. Like they would try and run them down with the car, but the emus were so much fucking faster on those country back roads.
Yeah,
they're like, fuck you.
You can't haul ass in a like
off-roading.
Off-roading, like no. You're gonna like just. You're gonna die.
Yeah, you're gonna flip your Jeep or whatever. Like you're gonna lose control ultimately.
You're gonna bottom out.
Yeah,
pop a tire. You're gonna fuck your shit up. Yeah. So it was
God
not great.
Okay, so obviously, you know, all these fucking knuckleheads are bopping around in the back of the Jeep or the truck or whatever. They're not making any leeway. And let's be real, this made the emus stronger, smarter. They were like watching, learning. They're like, look at these dum-dums. And in an article from the Australian Herald, an army observer at the time had noted that by the fourth day, and this is a quote, each pack seems to have its own leader now.
Dude, this shit's real, man.
A big black plumed bird, which stands fully 6 feet high and keeps watch while his mates carry out their work of destruction and warns them of our approach. Like they fucking outsmarted the military like actions, and they were like, oh, P.S. I'll be the lookout and you'll know, and we're fucking faster than them in that piece of shit. And like oh my God,
they're like, look at these fucking chodes trying to run us down in their shit ass Jeep. We're so much faster, guys. It's fine.
Oh my God.
Let's hurry up and eat all this wheat real quick.
Yeah. I feel like the emus were like, emu, and then the other ones would be like, emu, and then they'd be like, emu,
emu. Dude, It's so good.
Emu, emu. And the emus are like, yeah, get it.
Yeah. Oh my God. They're just, it's so funny.
Oh my God.
And one of the funniest things about this whole quote unquote operation, this military operation, is that Pierce, the like Secretary of Defense or whatever, hired a cinematographer from Fox Movie Tone to capture the culling of the emus on camera, and I guess make a cool propaganda film. Like, look at our cool and manly government killing all these mean birds. Very badass, and we will protect you with our machine guns. Stay in the Commonwealth, please. I don't know. That's a terrible Australian accent. I'm so sorry.
Except it was so embarrassing.
Yeah, it's like
you can't use any of that footage.
No, the guy like was like filming shit. He's like, you know what? I'm gonna pause for today. I don't think we're gonna kill any more emus.
Yeah,
and all the like military guys are, all the military guys are like, God damn it, fuck shit, fucking emus. And the guy has his camera and he just like slowly closes it. And he's like, I'm gonna go grab some Frosties. I'll be back. Sorry, no, I'm just kidding.
They're like, hey, do you need me to like point the gun at anything? Do you need some extra B-roll? No, I think we got it. Yeah, we got it.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna actually get some shots of the emu leaders.
Yeah, the ringleaders. Yeah. It turns into like an emu propaganda film.
Yeah, this whole thing was such a goddamn mess, and they barely killed any emus. And I don't think that they wanted to film very much of it. And at one point, this does get out to the public that this is happening eventually, and the news of the like failure eventually gets out. So an ornithologist named Dominic Servanti summarized the culls, quote unquote, the culling of the emus as thus. Quote, the machine gunner's dreams of point-blank fire into serried masses of emus were soon dissipated. The Emu Command had evidently ordered guerrilla tactics, and its unwieldy army soon split up into innumerable small new units that made the use of military equipment uneconomic. A crestfallen field force therefore withdrew from the combat area after about a month.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so like I said, it kind of got out there. There was a lot of negative coverage in the local media, and it obviously highlighted the claim that only highlighted the fact that they'd only killed a few emus. So Pierce withdrew the military personnel and the guns on November 8th of 1932.
I just love that, like, the Emu Command had evidently ordered guerrilla tactics.
Yeah.
I like how they're talking about the emus, how we're talking about them. Like, they outsmarted.
Oh, yeah. They're making fun of the military completely. Yeah. An ornithologist just totally just shitting on the military. It's really funny.
So good.
Yeah. So after this first withdrawal of the military, the emu attacks kept coming. It was relentless. Farmers kept asking for support again.
Yeah.
Now, as you know, like the winter time here is summertime there. So hot weather and drought were really making it so that the emus were looking for water. And that's where they really started coming fast and thick, because that was like oases for them.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, they were coming by the thousands. Like, this is like not a joke. Like,
that's scary.
They're really just like fully invading these like farms.
It's like when the cicadas come in the US or something. It's like these weird like reproductive patterns, and then suddenly that's so weird.
Well, I mean, anything could have a boom in its population. True. If like there's like different, like climate issues or you know, a predator.
Well, and they must not have a natural predator in the area, because if they're getting that, if their herds are like thickening that much.
Yeah, I feel like they kind of didn't. So
yeah. Well, they're dinosaurs, so that makes
they're
sense.
dinosaurs. Yeah. So James Mitchell, the Premier of Western Australia, lent his strong support to the renewal of the military assistance. And the military was like, okay, we'll try this shit again, I guess.
Oh,
we'll bring the guns out again and try to defeat the emu hordes. So even though the military agreed to lend the guns to the Western Australian government again, there was nobody to really do this. There was not. There was a lack of experienced machine gunners in the state. So Meredith came back into the theater of war again.
What a disappointment. Why would, oh God. I mean, he probably had no choice.
I think though he actually like got like kind of obsessed with it though. He was like,
sure. And he had hubris. Like obviously he thought he could do it, and it's like, well, prove it, and he can't.
He was like, okay, I'm getting another chance. I'm gonna fuck up these emus. Like it's like the bane of his existence, you know. He's just like cannot believe,
oh my God,
that he's being outsmarted by some emus. Fucking birds.
I mean, I get it. He's like Jake Gyllenhaal in Zodiac. He just can't let it go. His marriage is falling apart. His kids miss him. He develops a drinking problem.
No, that was Robert Downey Jr.
Oh, but wasn't it also Jake Gyllenhaal?
I don't think so.
Oh. Well, he was not doing well.
No, that's true. He was obsessed. So Meredith goes back into Western Australia, gets back out there on November 13th of 1932. Like this is all within like months. You know, months. Yeah. That this is all happening.
A month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he, I guess, like learned from his mistakes, and so over the first couple days, they killed approximately 40 emus.
Oh, good for him.
Yeah.
Out of literal thousands.
The third day, November 15th, was not as successful, but by the 2nd of December, the soldiers were killing approximately 100 emus per week.
Oh.
So they started to get in a groove. And then Meredith was recalled on December 10th. And in his report, he claimed that he killed 986 emus with 9,860 rounds, which is conveniently very
exact.
You know, 10 rounds per confirmed kill. Yeah, it's like a little too on the nose, but
also that's a lot. It took you 10
to kill one. Yeah,
it took you 10 rounds to kill one.
I'm sure it's just like an average, and it's like, you know, rounding up or whatever.
Okay, so but sometimes were you lucky, and sometimes did it take you 50 rounds to kill one bird? Like, why are you wasting so much ammunition? That does not seem effective.
Yeah, I mean, so he claims he killed almost 1,000 emus. And he also claimed that he wounded 2,500 birds. And he thought, he was positive they'd probably died as a result of the injuries they'd sustained.
Also, probably other ones died that were hurt. Probably like 2,500.
I definitely shot at least 2,500.
Yeah. Like
definitely got like a bunch of them.
Yeah. Like there were ones that looked hurt.
They're pretty fucked up. I fucked them up.
Yeah, they probably died. They probably died later.
They're dead.
Yeah. So count those ones.
Yeah.
So stupid.
Yeah, but I mean, again, this is out of like tens of thousands of emus.
Yeah.
So not doing the numbers that you would think.
Yeah.
So I don't know. So that was the second attempt and the last attempt to murder a bunch of fucking birds with machine guns.
Yeah.
They left and they were like, our job is done here. We killed so many. And all the farmers were like, they're still here. They're still eating our crops and like shitting everywhere and like decimating everything. And they're like, please, maybe just like bomb them or something. And the Australian government was like, absolutely not. We're going to just say, fuck off forever. Figure it out. Good luck and goodbye. No, they helped him a little bit more over the years, but this whole the whole like, you know, thing with the machine guns just did not work out.
I was gonna say, so did it work overall? What do we think? Yeah, absolutely not.
Absolutely not. This is the dumbest fucking. This is like one of the most insane use of government military resources.
Yeah.
Ever.
Oh my God. It's Eventually the government did the most Australian thing I can think of, which is that they reinstituted a bounty system that had been in place like in the 20s, like basically until the mid 20s. So like you have your emu hunter Dundees, your dog the emu hunters, like you know, all the bounty hunters come out of the woodwork, and they were able to effectively, with that system in place, which they reinstated in 1934. So like this went rampant for a little while longer before like somebody finally had a solution.
Yeah, this is what it should have been all along.
Yeah.
Like this is when you open up hunting season for emus. You know, that's what governments do when like animal population control. It's like totally a thing. Like deer season is like always popping because
fish.
Yeah, because they get overpopulated really, really quickly because they breed really, really quickly. Like, this is the thing. They should have just done this all along. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know why they stopped doing it. I didn't look at that, but they did, and then they reinstated it.
I think the emu population was pretty low.
Oh, thin. Yeah, it thinned out when they were hunting them initially. Yeah.
Well, and I do think that this is like, I think before they like categorized, they might have categorized like endangered species in Australia, but like, I think emus were not like, they were already like kind of threatened species. Oh. So when the rest of the world found out that they were doing this, I think that's when they were like, you absolutely cannot do this anymore. Like ornithologists from all over the world were like, this is like a threatened species. You can't fucking do this. And so you can't hunt these birds anymore. So.
Oh, okay.
And it was just like, you know.
Yeah. Well, they reinstated it for, I don't know if it's still a thing, but in 1934, over 57,000 emus were claimed, like, and brought in, and that was over a 6-month period. So it worked.
Damn, it worked. Yeah.
And you know, there were groups that were protesting it and stuff, like animal rights groups, but I do think it was necessary at the time. So,
well, especially because, you know, like the Australian economy was like really reliant on the wheat belt at this time, and needed those crops they needed the farmers to be successful. So this shit though, I mean, it didn't work. The machine gun shit didn't work. And emus to this day are still fucking out there. Yeah. And they will still fuck shit up. So.
Oh my God. But luckily they figured out fences a little bit better, I think. At some point, because
it's like they just jumped to, they bypassed all of these other solutions and were just like, jumped to.
Kill them. Yeah.
Fucking machine guns.
Bring in the military.
Like, so you could just like, that was the vibe back then. They were, you know, everybody was kind of, you know, these are war veterans who were turned into farmers. So that's like all they kind of had a reference for. So so this really didn't work though. Like we're saying, the Campion district was eventually abandoned and is a ghost town to this day.
That's sad.
Yeah. So
it's an emu town.
It's an emu town. Yeah.
Not ghosts. The emus are
whose house?
Alive.
Emu's house.
Emu.
Emotep.
Oh, God.
That's a Mummy reference.
Yeah. Oh, God. That makes me want to watch that movie so bad. I want to see the new Brendan Fraser movie.
I know. I do too. Oh, bless his heart.
I know. Although, like after he had that huge standing ovation, like everybody loved it. Then I read at the Venice Film Festival, basically it's all just standing ovations. Like it's
everybody
just
gets standing ovations.
Yeah, and I was like, oh. But his was longest.
Trace Lizette got an 11-minute standing ovation.
Oh, who's that?
She's the first trans woman to be like a main a star in one of the film festival movies. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, any final parting thoughts?
Well, to me, the moral of the story is there's a reason that the saying is like shooting fish in a barrel, and the saying is not like shooting emus with a machine gun. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But there should be a saying about how cunning emus are.
I mean, I feel like they could have like solved all this with like some booby traps, like
a little poison,
or like maybe like a moat. I don't know.
Oh, maybe emus can swim.
It didn't. It could be a dry moat.
Oh,
maybe they could have just done a little bit more research, recon, to understand get inside the emu mind.
The emu psyche.
The emu psyche.
Also, I feel like the emus are very smart. Maybe they would have been reasonable. There could have been some kind of emu pack. Just talk to their leaders.
I feel like
find out what they need.
Maybe they just really wanted like a water park or something. They're like, we just want a place to like hang out and like get a couple like hot dogs every now and then.
Soak City EMU.
Yeah. We just need a couple of fuck oases and we're good.
Yeah, we want a lazy river, goddammit.
We don't need, we just, just throw us a little bit of a bone here. Okay.
Yeah. I wish.
I think they could have just made like a decoy farm and it just would have been like a giant net or something and just like trap them,
Yeah.
That's all
a decoy farm.
I don't know.
Yeah, booby traps. I like that. Or dig some holes, put some leaves over it, hang a stake above it. The emu comes and they fall in the trap.
Yeah. Cool times.
Well, I want to go to a petting zoo of emus / a water park.
Oh my God.
I think that would be amazing. I'm so grateful to the people who wrote us and were like, cover this topic. It sounded benign. It sounded so benign, and it was such a treasure. So
it was delightful.
Thank you. Bless your hearts.
I want to make more emo jokes, but I can't. I've drank too much wine.
Oh,
I can't. My brain can't.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah, it's all right. We love it though. I love it.
I love it. Yeah, it was a fun topic.
Yeah, I think emus are like full on dicks, and I feel like it was like they really were getting back at the the resettlement of this area.
Yeah,
and they're like, who the fuck are these people? We're gonna just fuck their shit up. Like,
yeah, why are they here?
You can't just like come in and claim this land. Like we were here before. The Aboriginal people were here before you. We were coexisting, and now your dumbass is here. So we're gonna fuck it up. And then and they won. They left.
Yeah.
So
that's the whole thing. The emus won.
The
so
emus
the
won.
Great Emu War of 1932, it's emus 1, Australian
Australian government 0.
Yeah.
Australian military 0.
Yeah. Well, it's like actually it's more like emus tens of thousands. Australian government 0.
Yeah. Well,
Australian government maybe 2,500.
I feel like
plus the 968 that
I could also throw this football over these mountains here. Yeah. Just the confidence of men, you know?
Yeah.
Just thinking they could solve everything with guns.
Yeah.
Unfortunate.
Oh.
All right. Well, that's all I got for this one.
Yeah.
It was fun.
It was so fun. You can send us why don't you visit our website, DTFUpodcast.com. You could send us a topic if you like through the contact us form.
We love getting ideas for topics.
Yep.
And we love getting listener stories. So if you have a really fun story, maybe you have had an encounter with an emu that you must tell us about.
Tell us your emu jokes.
Maybe your great grandpappy was in the Great Emu War.
Oh my God. Your great great grandpappy. Maybe your great great grandpappy was the gunner trying to go down the street, just fucking bouncing all over the place. I'm surprised. Honestly, I was half waiting to hear that one of the soldiers died.
I know.
I was like, what if we get to the end of this and there was casualties on the people's side?
I feel like
stupid.
I feel like if there was any casualties or like any injuries, the Australian government hushed it up because it's too embarrassing.
They just dug a grave out there, knocked him in there, and moved on. They're like, we can't
tell anybody about
tell
this.
His wife and kids. He left them. He moved.
He went AWOL. So.
Yeah. He doesn't live here anymore. Oh my God. Okay, and we have merch on our website, and you could get to our Patreon from our website. There's just so many things to see and do.
Want to say thanks to our patrons as always. Y'all are the best, and we have so much fun in our Discord with you guys.
Yeah,
and if you're curious about what that is, just check out our Patreon. It's patreon.com/DTFU podcast.
I know. I love that. And I feel like we have some patrons, new patrons that have joined recently, but they are not in the Discord. So if you're one of those people and you're like, wait, what is this? Just message us and we'll help you figure it out. Because every level gets to join the Discord.
It's so fun.
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen up. Y'all stay excellent to yourselves.
And each other.
All right.
Bye.
Emu later. I don't know.
Shut up.